Hi everyone, it's Bren here and welcome to this week's garden update where I'm going to share with you a few tips on how I look after my zinnia plants. We'll also do a garden harvest of some really nice food that's growing here in my cottage garden at the moment, and as well as that we will cut some beautiful flowers to make a romantic bouquet. Let's just say I'm trying to be inspired a bit by Valentine's Day, which is coming up on Monday, so we'll see how that goes. But let's start off by heading down to the trucks to let them out for the day. Off they head into the wilderness. There's just about a pathway in here in the cut flower garden, but it is getting smaller by the day. I've got so many vines growing along here. A lot of them are self-seeded cucamelons and they're really starting to encroach onto the pathway. This week I've been laying down a lot of cardboard in this area, particularly along the pathways in here. I think there's about 5 or 6 rows of cut flower beds in this spot, but as you can see, it's starting to get really overgrown with a lot of grass that's made its way in here. So instead of me spending such a long time digging all of this up, I'm just going to lay the cardboard over the top of it, and that will be sufficient enough to kill it off. I don't think I've shown you these yet. Maybe I have, but just in case I haven't, these are some asters that are all starting to flower. It was from a mixed pack, and this one is a beautiful purple colour. Now, I did have another plant just over there, but it died off. It's gone. Lots of grass has taken its place, but you know, I'll enjoy these. I'm now standing in the very back corner of our property, so I was just over there looking up towards this area, the cut flower garden, and we are now looking up towards the house. The reason why I'm here is I want to chat to you a little bit about all of these zinnias here. I had a whole row of them that were flourishing only a few weeks ago. Now these plants in here need quite a bit of attention. If you do any research into growing these summer annuals, you will find a lot of articles that say they just keep on flowering all summer long until the first frost arrives. And this is true, but you need to maintain these plants for this to happen. What I think is the most important thing to do when it comes to prolonging the life of zinnias is to keep on top of deadheading. So here you can see this bloom is past its best. It's starting to form this seed head. We really need to remove this to encourage more flowers, because once these plants start to form these seed heads, in my experience, they tend to just die back. It's almost like they know they've completed their life cycle. They've produced seeds which will ensure the continuation of these plants. Now I know you might be thinking, well, how do I save its seeds? This isn't the time to be doing that. You save the seeds towards the end of the growing season, not now, because you want to make the most out of these plants. So usually about maybe 4 weeks before I know the first frost is due to arrive, I don't bother deadheading anymore, removing any old flowers. I just leave the plants be, let them form the seed heads, and then harvest them for the following season. A couple of other points about these flowers is to watch out for any blight appearing on the foliage. I tend to just come in here now and remove it. As you know, I try and practice organic gardening, so I don't like to spray it with anything. Just remove some of these. And finally, towards the end of summer, which we are heading into now, I need to remind myself that the soil below has really fed these plants. It's given them quite a lot. But at this stage, it's starting to get tired. It's depleted of nutrients. So it is worthwhile coming in here, giving them a bit of a liquid feed, or, you know, just replenishing the soil with some compost and manures. A lot's happened over here with the okra since last week. Look how fast they've grown. This is the hill country okra. That's at the right size now to harvest. I noticed this beautiful flower. It's a Queen Lime Series Zinnia. The seed pack was labelled as orange, but to me it's looking like it's a green one. And I was poking around this eggplant bed yesterday. I discovered down at the base there is a fully developed Casper eggplant. And look how much this Thai eggplant has grown since last week. Down here I have some really nice Lebanese cucumbers. I must have put maybe 4 different Lebanese cucumber plants in the ground, and this is the only one that is thriving so far. You see, it's one of the many vining crops that's coming out onto the pathway. Like I had mentioned with the cucamelons, there's a few other things going on here too, even some self-seeded tomatoes. There's just so much food growing in this garden at the moment. These are king purple beans. I actually recorded a garden harvest video for my TikTok account earlier on this week. It didn't include these, but let's go take a look at it now. Let's do this garden harvest. Under this plant protection are lots of ripened sunshine bumblebee tomatoes. Now these ones are a bit of a mystery because I lost their tag. Look how juicy they are. If I was to guess, I would say these are Black Russians. There's so many of these indigo ruby tomatoes. I found a few gnarly looking ones. I know who will enjoy these though. Hey girls, I have some tomatoes. There you go. No, not the ones in the basket. The ones down here on the ground. Autumn, don't go near them. Snowflake, don't you dare, you cheeky little chuck. Today I was thinking of doing some yummy stuffed capsicums. I've got a bunch of these unripened California Wonders. Now you can leave these on the plant to ripen to red, but I'm picking them at this stage. They might just not be as sweet. I know this doesn't look like much, but for me it's so exciting. It's the first time I've ever grown a chocolate capsicum, and I'm thinking when I'm stuffing those caps, I'm going to add some of this gorgeous purple basil, a few zinnias for the table, grow the rainbow. I hope you enjoyed that little video. I've been poking around down here and I've discovered the first lemon cucumber, and then over beside that we have this white spine cucumber. Wow, I'm going to be bombarded with food very shortly. Maybe next week I can do a nice big garden harvest. I was just thinking this morning how much gardening can be a real roller coaster of emotions. Over here is a really good example of what I'm talking about. So a day or two ago, I can't remember exactly when, I came in here looking underneath all of this lovely green healthy foliage, searching to see if I could find any of the small warted gourds, and I found a perfect one down here. I was so excited, and because it was a mixed seed pack, I wasn't sure what I would get, and I saw this absolutely beautiful one that was in perfect condition. And then the following day, as you can see there, we'll zoom in a little bit, something got to it and has taken a big chunk out, and pretty much I'm going to have to break this off now and chuck it in the compost pile, because this exposure here will just cause the whole thing to rot. Now, having said that, I can look on the positive side, the fact that I did get one of these beautiful gourds. And I know now, because the plant is really nice and healthy, there should be plenty more on it. But I really did go from being so happy to so disappointed in less than 24 hours. I was thinking, since Valentine's Day is coming up on Monday, I'm going to make a garden posy to celebrate my love of flowers. for this week, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week ahead. Stay safe, take care, and happy gardening.